So anyway, like I said, Woody comes crashing to the family's camping ground, and they all start annoyed by it. But then the next day, after Woody knows they start constructioning for the new house, he instantly starts causing mass cartoon shenanigans, and suddenly caused the dad some frustration. And that's what the rest of this movie is. And here's the biggest problem why this movie, the story, it's so cliche, predictable. Almost every single movie scene I see, every single scene that I watched throughout the whole movie, I can predict what's going to happen. Where with the characters, the shenanigans, and even the jokes. First off, the characters in this movie are so one-dimensional. They're all just a bunch of cliches or stereotypes of what the characters are supposed to be. You got the father who cares about work. He has a new girlfriend doesn't try to interact with his son. The son is just a teenage boy, doesn't care about his dad. We got two villains supposed to be poachers. One is the smart one is the doofus, yada yada yada. We've seen this a million times before. And in fact, this movie plays like a 90s film that we've seen before. And that's the thing of this movie. It plays like a 90s film. I mean, in fact, this movie didn't even try to put any effort with it. I mean, it's the same thing with Yogi Bear. They didn't try to put effort into it. What I have to say, I think the Yogi Bear movie is actually an okay movie to me. But the Woody Woodpecker movie, I just can't stand what's happening about this movie. Oh, and speaking of comedy in this movie, it is abysmal to watch. Seriously. Throughout the whole joke, it's just a bunch of slapstick that ain't that funny to begin with. With all the stuff that Woody comes up with these slapstick are not funny. They're just so hurtful. There's even one scene where Woody starts covering the father and his girlfriend with a cement in a car. I mean, that's not funny. That's just so cruelty. Also, Woody Woodpecker is another cartoon character that we all know and love. Does a lot of poop jokes, sell these modern day references, catchphrases, and also trying to be hip and cool for kids. And also, he's a fourth wall breaker. But yeah, we'll get to Woody Woodpecker in a minute. But like I said, the characters in this movie are so one-dimensional. And another thing, problem with this movie is like, aside from the rhyme being cliche, is that you could tell that the actors who play these characters don't even care what they're doing at all. And you can tell the people who work on this film don't even care about what they're doing at all. And the reason why they do this is because Universal wants money. That's all what this movie is. It's just there to get some money. And once again, they thought it would be a good idea to make this movie where instead of they doing it to the fans, people who grew up with Woody Woodpecker, instead they thought they'd do it for kids who thought that Woody Woodpecker might be a cool character to be with. Well, guess what? It didn't. They did that with Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. I mean, the first Alvin and the Chipmunks movie was okay enough, but the sequel was awful. The third one was a waste of time, and the fourth one was a waste of time as well. But why they decided to do it with Woody Woodpecker? Because they didn't have they could have other stories to do with this character, but they didn't. And speaking of that, this movie also supposed to have a father and son relationship, kind of resemble what the Goofy movie does. But this movie, they didn't do that as well. Both of these two are just not even relatable. There's even one part of the scene where after the girlfriend breaks up with the father because, well, she's a city girl and all that stuff. They explain that mostly why. And then for some reason they throw a father-son relationship to each other, like they're starting to get along at some point. It doesn't really worked out. But yeah, aside from that, let's get some other problems with the movie. Like I said, the slapstick in this movie is still not funny in the least. This is a live-action movie, and all the other stuff that happened in this movie is so cliche. Like I said, when I said this movie is so cliche, in fact, like I said, this plays like any other not so good 90s movies we've seen a million times before. And now let's get into another problem with this film, and that is Woody Woodpecker himself. Now, I'm not saying he's a terrible character at all. I mean, they still what Woody Woodpecker usually is. He's witty, he's fast, and he always does a lot of good jokes. And he still always gets a lot of few crackers like Bugs Bunny does. But the problem with this character is that he is a fourth wall breaker. And trust me, the way he started the movie with him breaking a fourth wall gets really annoying really quickly. And I'm not even joking. At the beginning of the movie, when we first see him, he started breaking the fourth wall they started him with doing the fourth wall humor. And as for the design of the animation of Woody Woodpecker himself, he looks okay to look at. I mean, he does look like he was in a cartoon, but in live action. live action stuff. But the problem is that the way how the live actors interact with him is one of those imaginary friends syndrome. What I mean by that is where live actors start interacting with people who we know that aren't there, but yet they had to do it, even though we just know they can tell it's not there, and they're not even trying to. And we can tell the actor's not even trying to act like someone is really, really there, even though they're fiction. Another problem with Woody Woodpecker is that he is such he has no remorse of what he's doing. Sure, in some cartoons he does that all the time. He acts crazy and annoys everybody with it. But at least he can have some remorseful things what he did. And well, yeah, he actually did in the ending, and spoiler alert, he accidentally messed up the new house that he actually decided to let the family build in, and of course the father